All right, we are out here at Snoqualmie Casino. This is Xavier with Costco Fire. We're working on our smoke control system. The issue we were having before is when we would take this toggle switch and turn it to the on position and back to auto. One, it would not change state, and two, it would give us a fault on all our dampers and fans. So we have remedied that, found an issue in the equations for the logic functions. So I have Richard here, he's gonna give me a hand. We're gonna set an alarm now and go through the process. All right, panel comes in. I'm gonna just acknowledge my alarm. Our normal LEDs have disappeared and our dampers are gonna start opening and VFDs will start ramping up and giving us verification of opens and ons. There's a 45-second timer on this. If it doesn't happen within 45 seconds, we do get our faults, but we'll give it time in between each essentially change to make sure that we don't get that fault light like we were seeing before. So as you can see now, we have all green lights, all dampers are open, our inlet, shaft damper, and then relief damper. So we're gonna just let this sit for a second in the auto position, and then we'll turn the toggle switches to off and see how they respond. And the slight flickering right that you can probably see right here is not actually on. That's residual power that we believe between the LEDs. Since there are quite a few LEDs on this thing, with the cards, they kind of send a slight voltage out, but that's not completely on. When they're on, you'll be able to tell they're solid yellow, just like these ones here in the middle. So we're gonna give it a time now, and we're gonna go ahead and turn both of these into the off position. So our panel beeps to let us know we have entered manual mode. Gonna acknowledge that. Back over to our smoke control. You can see that the fans turn off first before dampers start closing. The verification LEDs are a little bit slow because it's going through a lot of logic equations. All right, we are completely off and closed. Now we're gonna go ahead and go the opposite direction and turn everything back on manually. And we'll see everything postulate and change to the open and on state. And then after this is where we were running into the issue of where we were in the on state and we would put it back to auto. We would get verification, but then after that 45-second timer, we would get a fault. So when we're doing that one, we're gonna go ahead and just let them sit. And I'll let them sit here for a 45-second time as well. I will show that via timer on a second phone here in a minute. All right, so we have ons verified. I'm gonna go ahead and start my timer. So we'll bring that back up here after that 45 seconds to verify that we don't get any fault lights. All right, we've surpassed our 45 seconds. Again, the residual fault light you can see in the upper right-hand corner is not actually active. It's just residual voltage off of the backboard. Like I said, they'll be this solid bright yellow when they're actually in fault. So again, past our 45 seconds, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop that timer, and I will now go to the auto position. And I will restart my timer. And we'll wait another 45 seconds to verify that we still don't get a fault light when we go back to the auto position. And it is the same outcome whether we have an alarm or not on the panel. So even if we didn't have our pull station active right now, if I were to go through the same process, we end up with the same outcome of no fault light. picking up the phone screen better than the smoke control. All right, we surpassed our 45 seconds. And as you can see, the fault lights have not changed. We have still solid greens for our opens and on of our damper, and our switches in the auto position. So it's postulating off of the smoke control panel. And I'm gonna go ahead and kill this timer now. And just to show it for peace of mind, we're gonna go ahead and we'll reset our panel. Oops. We forgot to reset our pull station. I forgot to let Richard know.
I was trying to go quickest. Sorry.
All right, so gotta let this settle down, acknowledge, resetting our panel now. All right, alarm's clear, and our smoke control panel starts to respond. We got normal LEDs on as they postulate to the off and closed positions. And like I said, I'll show you, get rid of this beeping. I'll show you the same process without an alarm. So the issue we were having is when we went from off to auto to on. So we're in auto. I'll turn it to the off position just to get rid of the normal LEDs. So those normal lights go away. We get a trouble on our panel for manual mode entered. Acknowledge that, come back. Everything's still off, no normal lights. So now what we'll do is we'll go back to auto. Our normal light populates. We'll kick them on. And once I get that on verification, I will start the timer again. So again, we have the manual mode entered. Slowly getting damper statuses. They do take some time. One for the motor to move around, and two just to verify the module gets picked correctly. And then we start getting the VFD kicking on, which will postulate our on light for our fans. All right, so we are on and open, starting our timer. Okay, we have surpassed our 45-second timer. We are still showing on and open with no fault lights active. We'll wait just a little bit longer just to make ourselves feel comfortable here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the timer. And then what we're gonna do is go to our auto position. And since we do not have alarms, we should be setting back to off. Got our normal light postulated. And there we are with our off, so we'll just go ahead and do another 45-second timer just to verify that we do not get a fault in the off or in the auto position after returning from on. All right, and there you have it. Passed our 45-second time limit. to verify if things had not been verified in the correct position, then we would have gotten our fault light, which we have not. So we're looking pretty good. I'll let it go a little bit longer, just like I said, for that peace of mind, making sure we are doing this correctly. Because this is as big of a thing as it is for me, as it is for anybody else that's out there having to program smoke control panels, and for our inspectors and people, you know, obviously staying in the building. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop that. The last thing we had not quite covered in our testing with our AHJ was the lights for our existing panel. So we have fiber connections, and I'm gonna go ahead and just throw those in real quick. Pause the video. All right, we're back. So I've got my blue and orange fiber leads, multi-mode fiber plugged into my high-speed network card. So our panel is going to start doing some stuff. We're probably getting signal there. We do have this enunciator that will be at our front entry, which we've had that down here just talking, so we make sure it's operating properly. But here momentarily, we should see some LED changes in that lower right-hand corner for the casino, original casino panel being in normal status, as it is not. And there you have it. So the original casino has supervisory end of trouble. And if I were to go up here and look through these, we'll go ahead and do our trouble button. And let's see, so security enunciator, the buzzer's off, so we're not bothering them. And then, so there's a, whoops. We'll go back to that one. Keep pressing the button too fast. So there's an example right there. So node 1, as you can see in the right hand corner of the screen there, node 1 is our existing fire panel. This is an RTU unit that they just recently replaced on the roof, and they haven't hooked the fire alarm back up to it. Our panel's showing it has an open circuit. So that right there is showing our trouble signals are coming through, which matches up with our trouble LED. Now let's go ahead and try and find a supervisory. Sorry, getting a phone call there. Get right back to that. Loop one. So when it doesn't have the node number, it's all off this panel. So I'm trying to go through and find where I have a supervisory. Oh, I'm hitting the trouble button again. That's my fault. Keep going here. And I believe the supervisory that's going to come up is going to be our heat trace. I might be wrong. There are a lot of supervisories currently on the panel. Sprinkler hasn't been signed off, so we have to keep all the valves closed at this time. I'm hoping I don't. There we go, node 1. There's another node 1. So what do we got? Oops, yep. I keep passing them up a little quick, but we do have node 1s, as you can see. So east parking, level 5 speakers, that just came up. West parking, level 1. And the supervisories are there because they have those bypassed, so that way audibles aren't going off. There's a tamper for you right there. So that is again coming off node 1, which is our existing casino. And like I said, it matches up with our original casino supervisory light. So that's all I have for you right now. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave comments. Appreciate you watching.